Today we're talking about Zigbee. More importantly, how you set up Zigbee and kind of start from the beginning. So what you do with Zigbee in 2025. At the same time, if your Zigbee's going horribly wrong, this might help a little bit. So quickly, what is Zigbee? Well, Zigbee is a protocol that's really good at things like this. So when the door opens, the light comes on. When the temperature drops to really low, the heating bursts into life. It's really good at those kind of things. It's been around a long time and does a great job of what it does. So let's roll the credits and then we can start talking Zigbee. So what is Zigbee? Well, Zigbee is a wireless communication protocol. It's low powered, means that things have got long battery life. It's short range, so not across vast areas, probably inside a building. It's low rate. Well, that means it can't do video or music streaming. It's designed for, this is what the temperature is. I've switched on, I've switched off. This is how much power I've used, not kind of video stream, stuff like that. It's mesh enabled. So this goes back to the low power thing. It means that Zigbee devices can help each other out. You have things called routers, which are just powered Zigbee devices, and they can pass on the signal to make sure it gets everywhere. It's encrypted, so there's security there. It runs on the 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth. The first thing you're going to need is coordinator. Now this is a really basic one, which I think I got from AliExpress a long time ago. And what a coordinator does is it talks to the rest of your network. It's the link between Home Assistant and your Zigbee network. So that's a really basic coordinator. I actually use one of these, which is a SMB Lite coordinator. It's SMB Lite model SLB 06M. It's powered by PoE, and I actually recommend it to anybody. There's a newer one now that does Zigbee and Matter, but it's a bit more expensive. I've actually got two of these. It'll run on PoE and it'll run on a USB connection there. I'd recommend these. There is a link in the description. So you're going to need one of those to send out your signal. So going back to talk about signals, let's talk about Zigbee signals. So we talked about a coordinator. We're going to go back now and talk about the signal, because the coordinator sends out a signal. Now Zigbee, the commercially available, is 11 to 26, and it runs on the 2.4 gigahertz band. It's all nice and neat and low powered and kind of would work great, except that's the same bandwidth that Wi-Fi runs on. So if you're using Wi-Fi band 6 and Zigbee 18 ain't getting through. Wi-Fi is a lot stronger power than Zigbee, so you will very, very, very rarely have a problem with Zigbee affecting your Wi-Fi. But you will have a problem if your Wi-Fi will affect your Zigbee if they're over the same channel. So we've got the channels here. Now what we need to do is we need to think about how we're going to deal with Zigbee. So what we need to do is work out what Wi-Fi is used around our house. Hopefully you'll know what your router is on, but you don't know what next door neighbour's doing, or over the road, or kind of things like that. So what you need to do is you need to get an app. and I'll go through the app now. So this is a Wi-Fi analyzer. As you can see, I've got numerous channels here, but I haven't got a vast amount of overlap. They're mainly mine. I wonder if I walk next door and I'll get anything. I'm not walking next door, I'm going to walk closer to next door. No, that's made no difference. The thing you need to do is walk around the house and see what channels are used. In a more built up area, you'll probably see a lot more channels being used, and what you're looking for is where there's gaps. So for me, looks like 1, 2 and 3 would be ideal. If necessary, I could do 8 or 9, or maybe or maybe 13. So you need to decide what Zigbee channel you want to use. Lots of people use 26 because it's normally free. Not always, but normally. But if you've got lots of things using 11, 12 and 13, then 26 ain't going to be good. Might be better to go down to 11. But you won't know that until you've been around your house and looked at things. The next thing to think about is where you're going to put things. So I've got my SMB light coordinator. Now ideally you want it in the middle of the house because it can go that way and it can go that way. But it all depends on how your house is made up. If these are drywall or plasterboard walls, then the signal should be able to go straight through it. If they're steel plated steel girder walls, then the signal isn't going to go through. Or you could have the case that I've got. If your walls are 3 foot thick stone, it's not going to get through there. There is also something else to think about. What I'll do is I'll put one of these plugs on. Now these items, these plugs and light switches, if they were Zigbee, then what they actually become 9 times out of 10 is routers, and that means they'll get messages for the coordinator and pass them on. So they're good things. So you can use them to pass things around. But let's say that you've got a plug in the toilet, which probably wouldn't happen, and then you've got your coordinator. Going from here to there, if you look, we're actually going through quite a thick wall here, because it's going through this thick bit of wall in that angle, and then that angle to go through that wall. So you need to think about positioning, wall strength. You shouldn't do things like this, i.e. put it next to your router, because your router, next to your router, is going to get the most Wi-Fi interference. So you've got to work out where is best for it. Remember, this one can be just power over Ethernet, so you just need to get an Ethernet cable to it underneath the carpet, over the ceiling, and put it in a place that will be good. Like I said, other things to worry about are metal beams or metal plates. Things like mirrors, they're actually metal, so you can get reflections off them. So that's positioning your coordinator and working out where your routers are going to go. So the next thing we need to do is work out how we're going to set up Zigbee. Okay, it's decision time. Whether you use ZHA, which is the official part of Home Assistant used on for Zigbee, or you use Zigbee2MQTT, which is an add-on to Home Assistant. They are now more or less as good as each other. I feel you get a little bit more control over things with Zigbee2MQTT, but a lot of that is because Zigbee2MQTT used to be better, but now they do more or less the same things. I've already done a video on installing ZHA, link up there. So I'm gonna deinstall that and install Zigbee2MQTT as an add-on, and that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to uninstall ZHA. If you're not interested in this, you can jump ahead to the next thing where we'll be installing Zigbee2MQTT. But because I've done this, I thought it'd be better to kind of do a complete process. So uninstall, settings, devices and services, down to ZHA, pick your devices and remove. Yes. Vibration sensor. Click remove. Click remove. Click remove. Click. Oh no, wrong one. Getting carried away. So I'll then go back to this screen and go delete. Yes. What I'll then do is restart Home Assistant. Okay, we have restarted again, and going into some of my alterations have failed because they're using devices that don't exist anymore. But going in back into here, ZHA is gone. Now, I could have, if I were using a different coordinator, I could have left it in place, started a new coordinator and deleted one device and added it to the kind of new coordinator and kind of push things across. I've got all my devices in a pile just here. 6 of them, and they're just sat in a pile. It's kind of easier for me to do it like that. I have in the past tried to transfer from ZHA to Zigbee2MQTT. It didn't really work, so I think I would recommend moving as we're doing here, deleting and putting a new thing in. I'm hoping in the future it'll be easier, but for now there is no easy way of doing it. So let's go on to installing Zigbee2MQTT. Okay, what do we need for Zigbee2MQTT? They're both add-ons, the two things that we need. So if we go into settings and add-ons, I've already got one of them, Mosquito Broker, and it was used for Tasmota. I've already done the install. There'll be a link up there. So we've got that installed, all kind of set up. So I need to go back here and go to the add-on store, and I thought it was in the list. Where's Z in the alphabet? No, it's not. So we'll have to add it. The repository details is in the description. So we'll put that in there. So it's github.com, Zigbee2MQTT, Hasio-Zigbee2MQTT. Click add. Click close. Now I'm hoping when I do refresh, it will reappear, and it has. So you've got a couple of versions of this. You've got the standard one, which we'll install in a second. You've got a development build, and you've got the proxy setup. I'm going to be using the proxy setup, I think, in the future, because I'm looking to move Zigbee off to a different server, just to limit the problems that I have. Anyway, this is what we want to do now. Use your Zigbee devices without the vendor's bridge or gateway. So we want to do that. We want to go install. I am going to switch off start on boot. So it's got documentation, configuration wise. I've kind of got information in here that I'm going to leave as the default for now, and the log. So because it's installed something, I'm going to do another restart. Okay, we've started up again. Okay, I'm going to be using the SLMB Lite coordinator. So I'm just going to connect up to that to make sure that's working. Which it is. And it gives me instructions on what to do. So Zigbee2MQTT, I'm going to have to copy this to the encryption. Pay attention, if you use these Zigbee2MQTT add-on for HA, it's better to edit the add-on YAML configuration file directly. Select the three dots the upper right hand side, edit in YAML. So let's take that. Or even just press this button. Okay, go back to Home Assistant, go into Settings, go into Add-ons, go into Zigbee2MQTT, go into Configuration, go up here, Edit in YAML. What did it say? It's got my location, it's got the baud rate, it's got the adapter. So does it matter where I paste this? I don't know. So paste. Right, I'm going to press save, which is somewhere down here. Save. See what's out? I'm going to press. It's not taking any of that. Save. It doesn't like me doing that. Alright, that's because we've got serial twice. So now let's try. Okay, it's taken the information now. I hadn't noticed that the serial was there twice. So we're just going to press save one more time to make sure it's done. Okay, and I'm going to info and I'm going to press start. Alright, things I'm going to do now is start it on boot. If it crashes, start it up. I'm going to show in the sidebar. So if we go over here now, and it's right, I have no devices. Okay, so we're up and running. There is one more thing that I have just noticed. Right down the bottom of here, there is a Zigbee channel engine. So it's kind of saying what the best channels here. So it looks like 16. No. Channel 20 looks like the best one to go for. So let's go back here. It's got very upset with what's going on there. And in settings, you can change the channel. So it's on an 11 and it said it was better at 16. Not going to change any of the other settings in here. Submit. Also in here somewhere is the security key. Somewhere in there. I'm going to leave it. It's a random number. So let's press restart. Click OK. Then go back to settings, add-ons, Zigbee2MQTT. Just check the log. Stay online. Okay. Next thing to do is add the devices back in. Okay, let's try adding something. Flashing. Configured it, it knows what it is. I'll go into here and say door sensor, update home assistant, rename device. So hopefully if I go into settings, devices and services, MQTT, so I've got the bridge and I've got the door sensor. So I just need to just make sure it's working. Yep, open and closed more or less instantaneously. I need to add my settings to this. So you've seen on other videos that I actually add areas and labels. Oh, and there's another one because it's a sensor update. I'm now going to add all my other devices, but I won't put you through the pain of going through that. So we'll just have a quick run through of what we've done on this video. So we have been through what you need. So the coordinators, the routers, where you're going to put things, about checking the signal strength, and the additional thing about finding the signal strength where the coordinator is, if you've got one of those SMB Lite devices, because it works for you. We've been through installing MQTT, Zigbee2MQTT, which kind of worked first time, and we've added a sensor. Now I'm going to add the rest of the sensors, and hopefully everything will work. So hopefully you've enjoyed this and it will be of some use. If there's any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll answer the ones I can. And I'll see you on the next one. Unless you want to look at one that's here and one that's here. See you on the next one.